Hello, Steelers Nation, and welcome to a brand new episode of the Steel City Insider podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Jeremy Ritz, alongside publisher of Steel City Insider, Jim Wexell, and today we welcome back our most frequent guest to the show, Mike Prisuta of the WDVE Morning Show. Mike, welcome. Glad that you're here.
Glad it's not 105 degrees, Jeremy. Thanks for having me.
It is cool here in our individual podcast rooms. And if we want to talk about a unit who is kind of cooled off, it's the offense. It seems that the offense is struggling here from the Steelers in camp. The defense has kind of stole the show. And Mike, let's begin with you. What is contributing to, I guess, the underperformance of the offense? We know it's early, but how can they get better or improve?
Well, in terms of what's contributed to it, I think the old cliche is the defense is always ahead of the offense early in camp. They've only had 3 padded practices, so there's that. Broderick Jones and Isaac Seumalo just got back to working on a regular basis with the first-team line yesterday. So, that's the left side of the offensive line. I think they still lack enough people at wide receiver. I know Jonnu Smith and Kenneth Gainwell are brought here to kind of ease that concern a little bit. But probably the biggest factor, guys, that defense is pretty good.
The problem with, and the defense is really good, but the goal line defense yesterday that stuffed the running plays for the most part. There's just no room for the backs, and you got to look at the defensive line, right? But they were without Cam, TJ, Highsmith, Porter, Ramsey. So, the defense is pretty good, and there's a lot of depth. And the special teams last year showed how much depth they had, and it's going to be the same thing this year. But the offense does have me a little concerned. Rodgers is going to take some time, and Broderick, he looked a lot better physically. I don't want to just say he looked better because he blocked Highsmith and Herbig in one-on-ones this time, but he's moving. I think that groin was bothering him earlier in the week. Mm-hmm. And Seumalo, that was his first full practice, right? So you're right on about that, Mike. I'm a little worried about Caleb Johnson. Are you, Mike?
I'm a little, let's say, surprised. I don't want to say disappointed yet, but he has certainly not come in and taken this camp by storm and announced that he's going to be the bell cow back perhaps as soon as September the 7th against the Jets. He was better in the second backs on backers, but he was awful in the first backs on backers. The running game's going nowhere. They might as well rename the team run periods team tackle for a loss. And I saw him playing 7 shots yesterday. I think it was the 3rd rep. He stepped up in there to take on that blitz. He was all eager and he jumped in, stuck his face in the fan and got bounced back, almost took out Rodgers the way a bowling ball takes out a bowling pin. And Rodgers had to kind of dance around him and get outside and throw the ball away. He's got some work to do, Caleb Johnson. I'm a little surprised that he's been as raw as he's shown.
I will say about Caleb and Jaylen, yesterday Jaylen found a cutback on his first carry. That outside zone, when it goes right and they cut it back to daylight left, that play worked for Caleb like the first day in camp. I know they weren't in pads, but Caleb has that ability. We didn't see that from Najee last year. He rarely, if ever, cut it all the way back. So there's that. They are working more outside zone, and Fautano is still finding his sea legs. And Rodgers showed some mobility, which was nice. And he shows a beautiful touch and a strong enough arm before scrimmages. He's just starting to open it up a little bit in scrimmage. But I think it's all there. I just think he needs more time and more work with his receivers. What he needs is gritty, gutty Scotty Miller out there more often.
Well, you're seeing a lot of it, and he's, if you had to say who's number 2 right now based on practice, would it not be him?
Well, for me, and that's one of the reasons I wanted you to come on the show, Mike. All your experience. What is this? Your 39th camp?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's my 31st, so I feel like a rookie compared to you. But you've seen Lee Mays in August. You know, you've seen these guys, and you're still impressed with Scotty Miller. It's not just a veteran who knows how to win camps. Scotty's got a little something going with Aaron Rodgers, and Rodgers demands that precision, and I think Scotty gives it to him. Whether the coaches, and I asked Scotty this question, you're behind 2 guys who are 3rd round picks. You have to win by a lot, and does Aaron's opinion matter to the coaches? Of course, he wouldn't answer it, but I don't know if the coaches have the guts to use gritty gutty Scotty Miller over the 2 other 3rd round picks.
Oh, I think they do.
Yeah.
I mean, and here's the other thing about gritty gutty Scotty Miller. Clearly, it's just been a quarterback problem here more than it's been a Scotty Miller problem last year. Because if he's got Brady and Rodgers, he's good. He's not playing for somebody who's not going to the Hall of Fame and not going to be considered one of the greatest quarterbacks ever. Why would Scotty Miller waste his time with one of those yokels?
Well, Russ won a Super Bowl. They sold Scotty a bad bill of goods there.
Yeah, they sold a lot of people bad bill of goods.
Well, Mike,
including this guy.
What's that?
I said, including this guy.
Yeah, I know.
I was all
me
in
too.
on Russ coming out of Cincinnati, man. Full disclosure. After the shootout when they outshot Joe Burrow in his own backyard, I thought this is it. Wrong.
Well, anyway, you might have been wrong about that, but you asked a great question to Scotty. And sorry to cut you off again, Jeremy, but this was a really good question. Bring it up and tell us what Scotty said about Brady and Rodgers. Mike.
Oh, I thought you were telling Jeremy to play a clip or something.
Oh no, we're not that advanced.
That's sophisticated, I guess. No, I mean, just the guys that have the uber knowledge that they have, they rise you up to their level, or if you're not willing to go there, they'll find somebody who will. And there's a way it's supposed to be done, and there's a way that they demand that it gets done. And I think Scotty Miller gets that, Jim, and I don't know some of these other guys do.
Well, you asked him about Brady. I forget the exact question. I really liked it at the time. You said you worked with a 41-year-old quarterback before, and how did it pertain? How did the question pertain to Aaron Rodgers, and what did Scotty say?
You're asking me to remember all the way back to was that yesterday or Saturday? Well, I mean, Scotty said that getting the ball out quick and knowing where you want to go with it is part of the battle. And I think that ties in with something Rodgers talked about. Was that about a week into camp? We did a group thing with Aaron Rodgers, and he said it was still a little fuzzy sometimes, and he'll know he's an expert in the offense when he breaks the huddle and he can see it in his mind. I don't think he's there yet. Receivers aren't there yet, but they got some time to get there. It came up on the morning show today. How concerned should everybody be about the offense? And my response was, well, as concerned as you were when camp started, just stay at that level. It shouldn't be any worse after 3 padded practices in terms of your fears.
Yeah. Makes sense. I want to come back to just talking about that running game a little bit. And Jim, let's start with you here. But in talking about Caleb Johnson, what is it about what is causing the concern? Is he showing a lack of aggressiveness in hitting the holes? Is it the offensive line that's not opening up the holes? Is it an unwillingness to take on contact? Is it that the defense is able to zero in on the run game because the receivers aren't as much as a threat? What is it about Johnson that maybe is raising some questions?
I expected a little more power, but then again, the holes aren't there. and he has cut back some runs. I saw him drop a pass. Um, you know, we were talking to well, I don't know if you were there, Mike. We were talking to somebody who said he's Le'Veon Bell, except without the great hands. His hands are good, and I noticed that in one of the practice. He dropped a fairly easy ball, and his pass blocking is it's not going to get him on the field on third down. Jaylen Warren is now supposed to be a first down back, but he's going to have to play third down because Gainwell's going to go out in routes. But they're going to need a pass blocker back there, especially with Broderick and Jonnu up front and 41-year-old quarterback in the back. So
yeah, I think you were next to me, Jim, when we were watching goal line, and it's hard. We're down on the goal line, looking, sideways at it, and it's hard to really tell what's going on inside. All I noticed was there was a line of scrimmage, and then the ball got snapped, and all the guys in gold were on the white team side of the line of scrimmage. And it looked like Najee's rookie year, like it was a victory to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah. So you got the offensive line has to come around a little bit better. I know it was second or third team, but Evan Hall, he scored. He found a way to scratch and claw and get it over the goal line. I didn't see any scratching and clawing from Caleb, but then again, Derek Harmon and Keanu Benton were in the middle there.
Mm. And then just kind of going along here with the offensive side of the football and talking about the wide receivers, if Scotty Miller is standing out as the number 2, does that speak to there still being a need there? And, the continued trade talks that always seem to happen this time of year about a number 2 wide receiver. Do you think, based on what is transpiring so far in camp, they're more likely to make a move? And is it a bit ironic that Terry McLaurin from Washington is, a name that's being thrown out there? Mike, let's go to you on that one.
I'm sure they're investigating any and all possibilities. If they haven't convinced you of that by now, when I say you, I mean the Steeler fan in general. I mean, who saw the Ramsey thing coming when it did? Who saw a lot of these things? I think Omar's constantly working the phones and seeing what's available and what isn't. The hang-up with me regarding McLaurin would be what he is worth. Now, I had an argument with a guy a couple days ago while we were kind of going over what we had seen at practice at one of the local establishments. We like to go back and review the day and, make sure we saw everything the right way and all that. Constant analysis, nothing like just going to the bar or anything like that. But is Terry McLaurin worth a number 1 or a number 2? The guy I was arguing with said number 2. I think he's worth the number 1. And if he's worth the number 1, then you can't make the trade because you need to keep the number 1 so that you can move up if you want to go get a top 10 quarterback next year. If he's worth the number 2, maybe it happens. I don't know. But it wouldn't shock me if Washington, after one good season, suddenly was overcome with organizational arrogance and decided, oh, yeah, we don't need this guy. We're great. We can win without him. I would love to have him. I think the Steelers are deficient at wide receiver. I think the position they're in right now is very similar to last year. You can get by with one really good one, but as soon as George Pickens / DK Metcalf gets hurt, then the thing's going to grind to a halt.
Yeah.
How about Calvin, Roman, and a third? That way you're giving them 3/3 for McLaurin.
Or if you put Calvin and Roman on each other's shoulders, then you're giving them, 2.
Well, Washington could do that.
One real size guy and then one pick.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely again just thinking of the offense. Everything is interrelated. Not to get philosophical here, but the offensive line has to be functioning properly in order for the run game to work. The wide receivers need to threaten and stretch the defense to open up the running game. So that's definitely a concern on the offensive side of the football. And I just want to hit on the offensive line one more time too. I know that Jones and Sayamalo coming back from injury. I feel like this has been a bugaboo the last couple of years. They're drafting younger guys to come in who should upgrade this offensive line, but it doesn't seem to really come to fruition. So is it going to be another one of those years on the offensive line, or do you think they'll finally put it together and establish some cohesion, Jim?
Well, on paper, uh, Frazier and McCormick are better. I see it in McCormick. He looks a lot better to me, and everybody's raving about Frazier. So, and I assume he's better. So those two are better. Fautano at right tackle, maybe not today, but he's gonna be better than Broderick was last year at right tackle. Siamalu, maybe a little older, maybe a little less, but you've got more depth in the interior this year. And we could say Broderick will be a slight improvement over Dan Moore, at least a slight improvement. So on paper, everybody should be better. I mean, Siamalu. It just has to be more cohesive now. Now it's up to the line coach to get them all working, and hopefully they turn down the damn music so that they can hear the line coach talking to them, because he's the guy down there by the speakers. I watch him shouting at these guys, and I'm thinking, these guys need coaching more than anyone. Turn the music down as I shout at clouds.
One concern, they're relatively undersized, and they're definitely inexperienced compared to a lot of the lines they're going to play. And I think what we're seeing, Jim, you referenced those big boys up front. I mean, Y.A. Black is a handful.
Yeah.
Derek Harmon, there was a drill yesterday or a period called pass under pressure. I think somebody told Harmon he was responsible for supplying the pressure part, because he almost took Rodgers' head off a couple times. I mean, they say they can get around what they don't have or what they are not with athleticism and finish. And, I'd like to see more of both. I think you have multiple tight ends that can help you out blocking in the running game. And, the Mark Robinson thing at fullback yesterday, I'm so tired. If you're going to use a fullback, please go get a fullback and stop trying to jury rig it. I mean, if you value it, go get the guy. Why does everybody have to play 6 positions? I don't understand that.
Did Robinson even hit anybody?
I don't know. Like I said, we were on the side, couldn't tell. But
yeah, we're going to see maybe in the next goal line the third team fullback will be 48. The guy with 4 names, DJ Thomas Jones.
Yeah,
I think that's it.
Yeah.
I mean, he's really been physical. Every time I watch him, he's so physical, and he's got decent hands. The problem is, and the reason why they want to use the Mark Robinson is DJ Thomas Jones going to be on the practice squad.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So as strong as he might look as a fullback for the future, it's not going to be the answer now. So you're right about that, Mark. Mike, they just don't have a. I don't have a fullback. Connor Hayward played a little back there.
Yeah.
He's more of a runner.
I mean, he battles. He's a smart player, but he is what he is. I mean, there are so few fullbacks in the league. I mean, it shouldn't be hard to find one, should it?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And you have to wonder too. What was it? Last season or 2 seasons ago, Kendrick Green got some reps there at fullback, and maybe it's like the last ditch effort to try to find some versatility in Robinson to keep him on the roster with all the depth that they have at inside backer. But speaking of tight ends, 4 tight end package, Mike, what's this?
I mean, that's if you count Jonnu Smith. He's not a tight end; he's a wide receiver. You're not going to see him lining up with his hand in the ground next to Broderick Jones, helping him double team somebody. But speaking of tight ends, I talked to Miles Killebrew after the goal line drill yesterday. He's the guy that got beat for the one score that the offense had, a lob from Rodgers to Mount Washington. And he said, that's a hell of a play. I hope I see that. Hope we see that a whole lot this year. He called Washington a cheat code. And, they've thrown the ball to this guy 35 times in 2 years. Are they just now noticing he's 3 stories tall?
I heard that segment today on the morning show, Mike. Um, I agree. And, even if he's playing tackle, they can have a tackle eligible for that guy down the goal line. He's not a guy who's nifty in and out of his breaks, but do you need to even make a break down there? I
Take
mean,
take 3 steps, turn around, and jump. I'm
he,
not
he,
joking. I'm not joking.
he has great hands too. So yeah.
And that reach, I mean, who's going to get up there and defend that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I will say this about reaching up and poking the ball away. Darius Slay, who is, I don't want to say embarrassed. I don't know that anybody could have defended that. The first out that Rodgers threw of 7 shots was a beautifully timed, quick pass to Metcalf that looked like it couldn't be like you were throwing it to Washington, but a better receiver. And he caught it at the pylon. It was a quick break, and Slay had no chance. But guess what? A couple days ago, Slay made the play. He got way up, poked the ball away, and then poked the ball away from Freiermuth in the back of the end zone. Mm-hmm. So, on one hand, Metcalf sharpened the iron of Slay. Slay is more determined than ever to get way up and poke that undefendable pass away. And in turn, Slay is going to make Freiermuth. I mean, the iron's sharpening iron. I really like that saying. And when I see it happening in real time, it's kind of cool. So I just want to make a note of that. I don't know if Slay could get up to Mount Washington, but he got up for Metcalf. So that was a start.
I mean, he tried to take that one road that's always closed, the one that runs under the incline and tries to get up there, and there's always mudslides. What is that, McGonigal or whatever?
Why isn't that road open?
Yeah. I mean, let's make them stop it. You know what I mean? It's not like they've been this great red zone team. It's not like they score all these touchdowns and they're just trying to figure out whose turn it is. I mean, it's baffling to me, just baffling. And it's now we're 2 coordinators into that trend now. 35 targets in 2 years for this guy. That's what, like 1 a game plus?
I'm with you on the targets in the red zone from the 2, especially.
Or how about when it's 3rd and 2? Just have them run sideways and throw it to him.
Maybe they're trying to run behind him because Broderick.
Yeah. Well, we spent a lot of time talking about the offense here, and Jim, you transitioned a bit there into the defense. We talked a little about YA and Derek Harmon, that defensive line. How about some of the other youngsters there on defense? In a Carson Bruner, Jack Sawyer, anybody standing out or flashing?
I have a lot of opinions. Mike, I'll give you first dibs on those guys. There are some juicy names you threw out there.
Yeah, I really liked Sawyer, but I really liked him in college. I'm not surprised at all. I think he's going to be a great pro. But the guy who has blown me away is Jaylen Ramsey, man. I watched one game that he played last year, and he looked really good. Yeah. But you don't get on TV how loud he is, what a crap disturber he is, what an instigator he is. Rodgers called him a tempo violator in walkthrough. Yeah. I mean, they needed a grenade get thrown in that defensive room after the way they laid down against Baltimore last year. They didn't get a grenade. They got an A-bomb. Jaylen Ramsey, man, welcome to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I got to agree with you there. He's the best player on the team. I mean, TJ hasn't been TJ yet because he doesn't have to be. He's working his way in, and there's a lot of reps that Jack Sawyer is taking advantage of. But so Ramsey's been the best player on the field all over at camp. Unbelievable. And then, he's got the, what do you call that? Where you put it over your mouth, like, he pulls it up. It's like Bazooka
Gator?
Joe.
The Gator?
I don't know what it is.
Yeah. No, the thing Pickens used to have.
He pulls the the thing Pickens used to have when he talked to us after games.
Interviews, cover his mouth.
Who's that guy on Bazooka Joe?
I was thinking more. Well, I can't remember his name.
Anyway, he also puts his hood up and he just walks right past the media. He's always got something. No, I got to go eat. He doesn't talk, and it's kind of mysterious, and it's okay, especially when he's got everything. You're not sure it's him, and he just walks past you in disguise, and he's gone. After being the best player on the field, it's kind of a cool mystery. A lot of times you get mad at guys that won't talk to you, but what's he gonna say? He's a newcomer. I know newcomers don't want to talk to the media at all.
Yeah.
Other guys, Jack Sawyer, I didn't know he was that fast. I thought he was a little more bulky, a little more of a run stopper.
Did you not bet on the Texas game?
Was that?
Did you not bet on the Texas game?
No, I did not.
Okay.
But
if you had, you'd know he's that fast.
Yeah, that's right. That play, and I saw that play, and I asked him about it. Yeah.
Oh,
did that beat the number?
That beat the number. When the ball was like a few yards from ruining the number.
Yeah, right. That's right. That was a James Harrison kind of play. But I love the play where he was chasing Rodgers, Friday Night Lights, and Rodgers scampered out of the pocket and got a few yards and ducked out of bounds. Rodgers showed he had the wheels still, and because Sawyer was going after him hard from behind. I don't think anybody was trying very hard from the front. You're not going to hit Aaron Rodgers, but Sawyer shows some wheels. Plus, I don't know that I've ever seen anybody who loves playing and loves talking about the game as much as him. Mm. It's a real football lover. It's genuine. Another guy who I think should be mentioned is Logan Lee. Surprises me every now and then. He's got a pass rush, and he is strong dude, a big-time wrestler. I know he wasn't an Iowa school kid. He didn't wrestle at Iowa, but he's a state champ nonetheless, and he's been a motor for YA Black. YA Black credits his football survival at Iowa to Logan Lee turning his life around when he was younger. And so I see that enthusiasm, that mentorship, and I'm seeing some pass rush out of a guy who's a run stuffer too. I don't know if he's going to be a nose tackle or a defensive tackle. He's a bottom of the depth chart guy, but it's another guy who's impressed me. What were some of those other names, Jeremy, you threw out there?
Carson Bruner.
Yeah, Carson Bruner looks. I mean, they only have him going matched up against like Lou Nichols and backs on backers, and he beat him every time except once in 2 days. Carson's
full disclosure, I didn't know who Lou Nichols was till he got a carry in the goal line yesterday.
Yeah, 35.
I had no idea.
He was with the Packers. He was with their Packers practice squad. So, I mean, so Carson is beating those lower guys, and I'm waiting for him to move up and get better reps against a better opposition because he looks thick, and I think he looks nimble. I mean, his 3-cone time is elite, and I'm seeing some of that on the practice field. And he's quick and tough. At least practice squad. I don't know that there's any room for him on the roster. There's a lot of inside linebackers.
If he plays great special teams, Jim, him or Robinson, who's going to be better for Danny Smith?
Yeah.
Well,
Robinson really blew up people and caused fumbles last year at the end of the year. And he's in the last year of a contract. He's experienced. He's cheap. I would imagine he's – huh?
Next.
He blows people up, man.
Yeah.
Well, you talked to him.
No, I didn't. You guys told me how engaging that was.
Oh, that's right. I had to read back the quotes to you. Did you use any of them?
I couldn't remember if the order was yes, yes, no, or yes, no, yes. So I left it alone.
My, oh my. I have one last guy to ask you about before we wrap up here. And that's somebody we've kind of talked about the last few episodes. And that's going to be Sebastian Castro, who was kind of somebody people were high on, fans were high on coming into camp. Is that continuing to hold true?
Well, the problem there is I think Chuck Clark sort of blocked that road to being the sleeper. Although I don't even know how much of a sleeper he was because everybody was talking about him. I'll tell you, he did something yesterday. He climbed the ladder to the sky to grab one of those Will Howard way overthrown passes and intercepted it with one hand. That was a neat trick. I think Castro's a good player. I think he's an NFL player. I think he will probably have to start on the practice squad if he stays here.
And that play, and I was hoping you would bring that up. That play showed he's got ball skills. I mean, he's not just a rugged box safety, which he came as advertised. He's got ball skills. That was a sweet one-handed grab.
No question. He can play some nickel. He can play some safety. Center field. He can play box. He's an Iowa DB, Jim. Come on.
What's that?
He's an Iowa DB. He's got the goods.
I like all those Iowa defenders. I don't know if I want any of their quarterbacks, but
he's got the goods. So we covered quite a bit here today, gentlemen. Anything that you want to hit before we wrap up?
In the words of Mark Robinson, no.
I love it.
No, I think it was.
Make that the word of Mark Robinson, not word.
Mark, it was. I think it was. Mark, have you ever played fullback before? Oh, yeah, I love it. And then somebody else, I don't think I heard the question, said, Mark, do you ever play fullback before? He said, no. Those were the first two questions. So anyway, Mark is more of a hitter than a talker with the media. But we do have a big sale at Steel City Insider, half off through August. I just wanted to get that out there.
All right, so viewers, make sure you check that out. We want to thank Mike for coming on the show once again. I got to I got to update the stats because I think Mike has a commanding lead over whoever's there in second place. So we appreciate you being on the show. We'll be back here again next week for another brand new episode. And gentlemen, you guys have a great rest of the week.
Hey, thanks a lot, Mike. Take care.
See you guys.
In the backyard.